humans spend a third of their lives sleeping. Sleep is a state in which the human body rests, reducing physical and mental activity, suspending consciousness, and dulling most sensory awareness of the surrounding environment. However, even though consciousness is paused, the brain remains partially active, making sleep distinct from a coma or other states of unconsciousness. Sleep is a biological process essential to human health. During sleep, the brain rests, consolidates newly acquired information, and clears out toxic waste. Meanwhile, the body repairs damaged cells, restores energy, and releases necessary molecules. A lack of sleep or poor sleeping habits can have immediate effects on bodily functions, lead to behavioral and mental disorders, and even cause chronic damage to various organs. Sleep, or at least some form of physiological rest, is also a necessity for nearly all animals. Many species have their own circadian rhythms that regulate their cycles of activity and rest within a 24-hour period. Some animals sleep much longer than humans. Sloths sleep up to 16 hours, while certain species of bats and opossums can sleep as much as 19 hours a day. Others, like African elephants, only sleep for about 2 hours. Livestock, such as horses, cows, and goats, typically sleep for just 3 to 5 hours. Different species also exhibit diverse sleeping patterns. Unlike humans, who are diurnal, awake during the day and asleep at night, some animals are nocturnal, meaning they are active at night, like bats and owls. Others, known as mediternal animals, have irregular sleep cycles and may be active both day and night, such as cats, lions, rabbits, and mice. Certain marine mammals like dolphins and whales, as well as some reptile species, are capable of unihemispheric sleep, where only one half of the brain rests while the other remains alert. Not all animals follow the monophasic sleep pattern of humans, in which sleep occurs in one continuous stretch. Many animals are polyphasic sleepers, meaning they sleep in multiple shorter phases throughout the day. Dogs, cats, and birds are common examples of animals with this type of sleep cycle. Most primates have sleep patterns similar to humans, sleeping for extended periods at night. However, humans tend to sleep for a shorter duration compared to other primates. Chimpanzees sleep more than 9 hours per day, orangutans for about 10 hours, and gorillas for as long as 12 hours. This shorter sleep duration in humans may be due to several factors. Early humans likely faced greater survival challenges and a higher risk of predation, requiring them to stay awake longer. Another possibility is that human sleep patterns were shaped by increasingly complex social interactions. Despite sleeping fewer hours, humans sleep more deeply, making their sleep cycle the most efficient among primates. One unique sleep characteristic found in some primates is the habit of sleeping in nests, similar to how humans sleep in beds. The practice of building sleeping nests is common among all great ape species, though the shape, size, and location of these nests vary. This behavior likely evolved before the evolutionary split between humans and other primates. Millions of years ago, pre-hominid ancestors likely slept in trees. Even today, chimpanzees and many other great apes build nests from piled-up branches and leaves in treetops, though some species, like gorillas, occasionally construct their sleeping spots on the ground. Around 3 to 4 million years ago, our ancestors began spending more time on the ground, eventually transitioning to sleeping there as well. Sleeping on the ground made early humans more vulnerable to predators, which may have contributed to shorter sleep durations compared to other primates. Additionally, this shift likely encouraged early humans to sleep in groups and take turns keeping watch. Living on the ground and transitioning to bipedalism also freed up their hands for new functions, allowing them to develop various skills. These two changes further contributed to extending the time humans spent awake. Human migration out of Africa also influenced sleep patterns. Different latitudes and seasonal variations forced humans to adapt their sleep schedules, making them more flexible in response to the shifting lengths of day and night across summer and winter. Meanwhile, genetic research on archaic humans provides additional insights into the history of human sleep patterns. Studies suggest that Neanderthals tended to wake up earlier than modern humans, and some of their genetic traits have been passed down to us today. To uncover the sleeping patterns of early hunter-gatherer societies, researchers have studied several modern-day hunter-gatherer communities, such as the Hadza in Tanzania, the San in Namibia, and the Tsimane in Bolivia. These groups live in small, semi-nomadic populations and in environments that closely resemble the conditions faced by early humans. Hunter-gatherers adapt their sleep based on their surroundings, constructing sleeping areas that provide comfort and safety. They build sleeping platforms or shelters using materials readily available in their environment, such as branches, leaves, grass, and animal hides. Living in small populations often spread out over open landscapes, hunter-gatherers do not have thick-walled structures to block external sounds, such as wind or the noises of nearby animals. As a result, they are generally accustomed to sleeping amid higher levels of ambient noise. Fire plays a crucial role in their sleeping habits. It provides light, warmth, protection from predators, wards off insect bites, and offers psychological reassurance. Despite the lack of modern conveniences, hunter-gatherers seem to sleep for roughly the same duration as modern humans, typically between 6 and 8 hours. Without artificial lighting or electronic distractions, they do not fall asleep immediately after sunset. Instead, they remain awake for a few hours, engaging in social activities, storytelling around the fire, or preparing food. Interestingly, hunter-gatherer societies tend to experience lower rates of insomnia and sleep disturbances. Factors such as reduced exposure to artificial light, high levels of daily physical activity, natural dietary patterns, and lower stress levels contribute to better sleep quality, even if the total duration is not significantly longer. Additionally, daytime napping is relatively uncommon among them. Hunter-gatherers also practice communal sleeping arrangements, ensuring that not all members of the group are asleep at the same time. Throughout the night, certain individuals remain awake in shifts, likely as a survival mechanism to stay alert against potential threats from predators. Beginning around 10,000 BCE, humans gradually transitioned from hunter-gatherers to farmers. In different locations and over varying periods, some human communities started manipulating the availability of food sources, both plants and animals, instead of merely relying on what nature provided. This transition marked the dawn of domestication, as early humans began cultivating crops by planting and nurturing seeds until harvest. Simultaneously, they tamed and bred wild animals for food and labor. This process unfolded gradually over thousands of years, until humans no longer depended on foraging and hunting as their primary means of survival. The shift to agriculture and animal husbandry also anchored humans to specific plots of land. No longer nomadic, they settled in places suitable for farming and livestock rearing. This shift not only altered their daily routines but also had a profound impact on their sleep patterns. With permanent settlements, humans were able to improve the security of their sleeping arrangements. They constructed homes and villages using mud bricks, branches, and straw. Unlike their Paleolithic ancestors, they created dedicated sleeping areas, piling straw, leaves, grass, and animal hides into makeshift beds. During the Middle Ages, sleeping arrangements even became a status symbol. The poor and middle class often slept on floors or straw sacks, while wealthy merchants, the upper class, and nobility rested on feather or down-filled mattresses supported by wooden frames. This newfound stability allowed humans to reduce sleep fragmentation. Unlike their hunter-gatherer ancestors, they no longer needed to wake up frequently throughout the night to guard against predators. As a result, farmers developed more monophasic sleep patterns, where they slept for one continuous period rather than multiple short phases. However, even into the industrial age, biphasic sleep remained common. Historical records from medieval Europe describe a widespread practice of sleeping in two distinct phases: first, sleep after sunset, followed by a wakeful period around midnight for various activities, and then a second, sleep until morning. This biphasic pattern may have been even more prevalent during humanity's nomadic past. The agricultural revolution also introduced more structured and predictable daily activities. Farmers spent their days working the fields and tending to livestock, then returned home to sleep and rest. This structured lifestyle likely contributed to a more regular and predictable sleep cycle. Ancient civilizations also left behind fascinating insights into their attitudes and rituals surrounding sleep. The ancient Egyptians, for example, both feared and revered sleep, believing it closely resembled death. They thought the soul could leave the body during sleep, allowing individuals to communicate with the dead and the gods. To support their heads, they used headrests made of wood, ivory, pottery, or stone, and covered themselves with damp blankets to stay cool at night. Dreams were highly valued, as they were believed to contain divine messages guiding one's life. Egyptian medical papyri contain some of the earliest references to sleep disorders, such as insomnia, snoring, and narcolepsy. The transition to the industrial age and the rapid advancement of technology have profoundly shaped human sleep patterns. Many of the sleep habits that define modern humans are products of the post-industrial era. Since the Industrial Revolution, human sleep has become increasingly consolidated, shifting from a fragmented biphasic pattern, where people would sleep in the early evening, wake around midnight, and then sleep again, into a single, continuous stretch of sleep lasting through the night. This shift was largely driven by the spread of artificial lighting and the capitalist mindset, which framed sleep as an inefficient use of time that could otherwise be spent working. Some people's tendency to wake up in the middle of the night may be a remnant of pre-industrial sleep habits. The industrial era transformed factories into centers of economic activity, concentrating human labor and routines into synchronized schedules. This consolidation extended to sleep patterns as well. As industrialization accelerated production and introduced an array of new consumer goods, the pressure to work harder and longer intensified. This, in turn, altered human perceptions of sleep, not as a natural necessity, but as a potential hindrance to productivity. The invention of artificial lighting, from oil lamps to electric bulbs, had a profound impact on sleep in two major ways. First, artificial light extended the hours of human activity well into the night. With better illumination, people could engage in activities after sunset that previously would have been impossible in darkness. As a result, humans developed the habit of staying awake long after sundown, often delaying sleep until late at night. Beyond indoor activities, artificial lighting also allowed factories and shops to remain open at night, fueling the growth of nighttime economies, particularly in urban centers. As cities expanded and urbanization surged, nightlife flourished, creating a stark contrast to pre-industrial societies where darkness dictated rest. However, the widespread use of artificial light, combined with technological devices such as televisions, computers, and smartphones, has led to an overexposure to light at night, which negatively impacts sleep quality. For tens of thousands of years, humans relied on natural light cues to regulate their sleep-wake cycles. But in the last 2 centuries, artificial light has disrupted the human circadian rhythm, weakening the sun's role as the primary timekeeper for sleep. This disruption has contributed to the emergence of varying chronotypes, with some people becoming more nocturnal, while others maintain early sleep schedules. Post-industrial advancements have also led to the creation of more comfortable sleeping environments. Unlike their ancestors who slept on straw or animal hides, modern humans have access to affordable, synthetic materials that provide greater comfort. Technological innovations allow us to regulate temperature, reduce noise, and minimize natural disturbances such as insect bites. Additionally, people are more likely to sleep alone rather than in groups, a stark departure from communal sleeping arrangements of the past. Although sleep is an everyday occurrence, history reveals a fascinating evolution. The way we sleep today has been shaped by millions of years of adaptation, environmental changes, and technological advancements. What now feels like an ordinary routine is, in fact, the product of countless shifts in human behavior, shaped by the challenges and innovations of each era.